He didn't just play baseball, he made it look cool. Backwards cap, wagging bat, that effortless lefty swing that turned fastballs into fireworks. But behind the charisma, behind the smiles and video game covers, was a player so good, pitchers would rather pitch around him than risk humiliation. So what made Ken Griffey Jr. a baseball icon? And why does he land at number 6 on our all-time center fielders list? Let's step into the batter's box.
Nope. And that ball is belted! That may be in the upper deck!
Born November 21st, 1969 in Donora, Pennsylvania, that's right, the same hometown as Stan Musial, Ken Griffey Jr. was baseball royalty from the jump. His dad, Ken Griffey Sr., was a 3-time All-Star and 2-time World Series champ with the Reds. But Jr., he wasn't content riding coattails. By the time he graduated Moeller High School in Cincinnati, he was already projected to be a generational talent. The Mariners took him first overall in the 1987 draft, and within 2 years, he was patrolling center field in Seattle at just 19 years old. And the moment he stepped onto the field, baseball changed. There are swings, and then there's the swing. Ken Griffey Jr.'s swing wasn't just pretty, it was iconic. It looked like it had been designed by baseball gods and sculpted in slow motion. The way he coiled, exploded, and released, you could see the bat slice through the zone and think, yep, that ball's gone. It was so smooth that even non-baseball fans knew who he was. Kids tried to copy it in backyards, schoolyards, and wiffle ball fields across America. From 1993 to 2000, Griffey averaged 45 homers and 122 RBIs per year, during a time when hitting 30 was considered elite. And he wasn't just mashing bad pitching. He was teeing off on guys like Pedro Martinez, Roger Clemens, Randy Johnson, and Greg Maddux. He absolutely owned the 1990s. In fact, no player hit more home runs in that decade than Ken Griffey Jr. And yet, somehow, it wasn't just the numbers that made his swing feel like magic. It was the sound. Ask anyone who saw him live. When Griffey squared one up, it made a different noise, like a gunshot echoing through the stadium.
He decided to come out of retirement and join the roster. Whoa.
When Griffey was traded to the Reds in February 2000, it felt like the perfect baseball fairy tale. The prodigal son returning home. The legend coming back to Cincinnati, where his dad had once roamed the outfield with the Big Red Machine. He even signed a 9-year, $116.5 million contract, which, believe it or not, was considered a team-friendly deal at that time. But the dream unraveled quickly. Just 70 games into his 2001 season, he tore his hamstring chasing down a fly ball. And that was just the start. From 2001 to 2004, he missed nearly half of all Reds games with a laundry list of injuries. Dislocated kneecaps, torn hamstrings, ruptured tendons, broken hands, and even ankle surgery. It was like watching Superman discover kryptonite. And not just once, but repeatedly. The saddest part? He was still good. Even in pain, Griffey was clubbing home runs, tracking fly balls when his legs allowed, and trying to carry a team that never had the pieces around him. In 2004, with the All-Star Game in Houston, Griffey was leading NL outfielders in votes. But 2 weeks before the break, boom, another hamstring tear. He didn't play again that season. You could hear the heartbreak in Cincinnati and feel the national frustration. Because for fans around the country, watching Griffey's prime erode felt like losing something personal. But he didn't fold. In 2005, after 3 straight injury-plagued seasons, he hit .301, launched 35 home runs, and drove in 92 RBIs. He earned the NL Comeback Player of the Year. And for one shining moment, it looked like the kid had beaten Father Time. But even that comeback couldn't stop the creeping truth. The Griffey in Cincinnati wasn't the same Griffey from Seattle. Not because he lacked talent, but because his body simply refused to cooperate. And that, maybe more than anything, made him relatable. He wasn't just a baseball superhero anymore. He was human. Flawed, vulnerable, aging, but still trying. And if that doesn't make him a legend, what does? In 2009, Griffey made one last trip home, to Seattle. The return didn't boost his stats, but it did remind fans why he mattered. In his final game, over 46,000 fans packed the stadium chanting his name. There were tears, there were hugs, and there was legacy. He finished with 630 home runs, 13 All-Star selections, and a legacy that transcended numbers. He was the icon for a generation of baseball fans. Even the video game had his name on it. And let's not forget, Griffey did it clean. When Ken Griffey Jr. became eligible for the Hall of Fame in 2016, there was no debate. He wasn't just a first-ballot Hall of Famer. He was a no-doubter. And the only real question was whether anyone could keep him off their ballot. As it turned out, 3 voters did. That's right, out of 440 ballots, Griffey got 437 votes. A record-shattering 99.32% approval, the highest percentage in Hall of Fame history at the time. Even Babe Ruth and Hank Aaron didn't come that close. It wasn't just a baseball ceremony. It was a coronation, a celebration of everything Griffey had meant to the sport. The elegance, the honesty, the swagger without arrogance. When he walked on stage in Cooperstown that summer, wearing his signature backwards cap, yeah, he even wore it to the podium, it wasn't just a nod to his youth. It was a message. This is who I've always been. And that's what made Griffey so beloved. He didn't change to fit the system, he made the system adjust to him. He was one of the few superstars who managed to carry the weight of expectation and somehow exceed it. There were no scandals, no clubhouse controversies, no back-page tabloid explosions. Just a guy who loved the game and made the game love him back. His induction speech was emotional, humble, and straight from the heart. He thanked his family, his teammates, his fans, and when he got choked up talking about his dad, then it wasn't just the fans that revered him. His peers, fellow Hall of Famers, stood and applauded like royalty had just entered the room, because they knew what we all knew. Ken Griffey Jr. wasn't just a Hall of Famer, he was a standard, a symbol of what a ball player should be, on the field, off the field, and forever. So why is the kid number 6? Well, if this list were just about talent, he might be number 1. But we're looking at longevity, consistency, defense, offensive production, and peak performance across entire careers. And while Griffey's peak was out of this world, those injury-riddled years in Cincinnati cost him dearly in the counting stats. Still, let's talk numbers. 630 home runs, 7th all-time, 1,836 RBIs, 284 career average, 907 OPS, 10 gold gloves, and a career WAR of 83.8. He didn't just dominate, he changed the culture. He made baseball cool again. And millions of kids started copying his swing in backyards across America. Ken Griffey Jr. is still everywhere. He's in MLB promo videos, he's mentoring young stars, he even joined the Mariners front office in 2021 as a special advisor. Oh, and he photographed the 2023 All-Star Game. Because Griffey stays cool, even behind the camera. His swing? Still the gold standard. Just ask players like Bryce Harper, Fernando Tatis Jr., or even Shohei Ohtani, who all grew up watching the kid. From teenage phenom to backwards cap legend, Ken Griffey Jr. didn't just play baseball, he redefined it. And despite the injuries, despite the what-ifs, he still climbed his way to number 6 on our list of the greatest center fielders of all time. But the real question is, who's next on the list? Stay tuned, because the next center fielder might be even more legendary. And don't forget, drop your favorite Griffey moment in the comments. This is Baseball Spark. We'll catch you in the next inning.